I'm with Aliza Knox, Managing Director of Online Sales for Twitter across Asia Pacific. And Aliza, you've been speaking today at Spikes about live, connected and everyday moments and how brands can leverage these on Twitter. Tell us a little bit more about your topic today.
Sure. Well, what we've been talking about is that there are billions of moments that matter. In today's world, everything is pretty much always on 24/7. And brands need to be connecting and engaging with their customers in really fast cycles and in the moment. So we talked a lot about there are moments that are really big that are episodic, like the Olympics or royal birth. Right. There are moments that are periodic, like Christmas or summer holidays. And then there are everyday moments, and I showed an example of a graph about how often people tweet about sleep or inability to sleep.
Right.
And with ZZ Quill, which is a sort of medicine that helps you get to sleep, that was built off of cough syrup, interestingly enough, they actually structure their tweets at nighttime when people are tweeting about the fact that they can't sleep. And actually they had a great one that says, hey, the tweets will wait, come to bed with us, which is a little bit cheeky,
right, yeah.
You know, a little bit silly, but it's in the moment what those consumers want to engage on, which is how to get to sleep. And their tweets show real authentic personality, sense of humor.
You shared some great examples also from Asia Pacific and some brands you see do that here. Can you tell us a little bit more about who you think's doing that well?
Sure. Well, the biggest brand that we showcased today was Singtel, our launch partner in Singapore. And Miguel talked a lot about things in the moment. He gave a great example of one of the challenges for phone companies in general is showing that they're human. Right? People think of them as a big company. Often there are service challenges or outages, and phone companies, I think in general, are not necessarily the most loved brand. And Miguel's challenge as head of digital is to engage with the consumers in a way to make them loved. And so he showed a number of things. He showed a series of tweets around a complaint that had been turned by a customer service person into great service that got tweeted around as, hey, I didn't think that Singtel would be on. It was late at night. I didn't think anybody would respond, which gave them a real sense that it wasn't, the consumers were talking about how it wasn't just a machine, there were people.
It was a real person listening out there. Yeah.
And they gave another almost silly example of someone who picked up a tweet about a woman whose cat was no longer able to sleep in its favorite spot because their their cable box basically had gotten smaller, and that's what the cat liked. And Singtel sent out a basket for their cat and then tweeted that. So they were using these live moments, these everyday moments, to connect with people and kind of generate a feeling that Singtel is human and that it has a people side to it. And do I have time for one more? Or no?
Yeah, these brands do all this obviously in order to drive brand favorability. And you mentioned with Singtel trying to be a more human brand. Tell us about the measurable benefits you've seen through research, proving that it has an impact on purchase intent, on brand favorability.
Sure. We have just done some research with Nielsen that showed that people who are engaged in some way, either seeing a promoted tweet or following the brand and then seeing tweets, are 30% more favorable to the brand and have a 53% higher intent to purchase. So there are things that you can measure. And then we have a number of products that I didn't discuss today, but like lead generation and mobile app downloads, where you can actually very specifically measure the uptake.
Right. Fantastic. They're great results and very encouraging for brands that want to use Twitter to help drive some measurable difference in their brand metrics. Thank you for sharing that with us today, Aliza.
Thank you for inviting me.